Hi guys, Bobby Gass here. I got some more auction records from Patrick the Vinyl Archivist. I'll show them to you now. Uh, Whoa. First up here, I got this here, Dale Hawkins. Now he's an old rockabilly artist from the 50s. Ronnie Hawkins is his cousin, by the way. And Dale Hawkins, he's the guy who wrote that famous tune, Susie Q. The Stones covered it pretty good, but I think CCR's cover is probably the best. Well, I like the CCR cover a lot, right? Run Through the Jungle's my favorite tune by these guys. Now, this record here, Dale Hawkins, it's like a repress from, the 90s, I believe. But when Patrick was showing this record, he come across something on it he didn't like, right? On the album, right? Let's have a look. He said there was a mark on it. He couldn't sell it, and I wanted the Dale Hawkins. I told him, well, shit, I'll buy it anyhow. And he said, well, I'll see. Don't sell records like that. So he said he was gonna send it along with the records, right? So let's have a look at the record and see what Patrick's problem is with it, right? I got a light. There it is. There. It looks pretty goddamn clean to me, but we'll give it a look over with a light. Wait a minute. Let's see. I don't see nothing on side two. I see nothing on side two. A little bit of dust. What about the A side? Oh, there it is there. Oh, you see that? A little wee above the light to the right of it, you see that dark little smudge? I can't feel it. What song is it? Second song, If You Please Me. Oh man, that's a fantastic tune by Dale Hawkins, If You Please Me. Kind of bluesy. I think that'll be okay. Thanks, Patrick. I mean, I love this. Garner just did a video where he showed a couple of Dale Hawkins records and played one, and who else? Link Gray was on it, right? Well, I'm glad I got this. Thanks a million, Patrick. I think this is going to play fine. You're you're a perfectionist when it comes to the records. Yeah, well, he says he don't want no problems from somebody that he sells a record to, right? And that's a good goddamn idea, ain't it? So the ones that I bought, here's one right here. Never heard of these guys. Uh, what a Hello People is the name of the band, and the name of the album is called Bricks, and it's on this White ABC album. Now Patrick play graded this before the auction, and I was listening to it, and the song he played on it, what the hell was the name of it? It was great, so I wanted to buy the record. I didn't know if it, what the rest of the album sounded like it, but I buy a lot of records just for one song. I, I mean, if I like a tune, I'm getting it. That's all there is to it. Let's see, what was the tune that he play graded? I gotta put my glasses on for this. I don't read my eyes. You get old, you lose everything, eh? All right, let's have a boo here and see what record that was. What the hell was the name of it? Dinosaur. That was the name of the record he played. Dinosaur. What a fantastic number that is. I hope the rest of the album's as good as that. Well, that's seldom the case, though, is it? Yeah, that'll be interesting, that one there. Uh, he also play graded this album, and it sounded fantastic. It's got a big hunk missing out here, right? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to mention something about Susie Q. Dale Hawkins' album there, Susie Q. On Susie Q, 57, I think it was. Might have been 56. No, 57, I think the tune was. James Burton played lead guitar and wrote the lead line there that everybody copied and is so famous. Do. Well, I can't do it. But James Burton, he was the. I copied down some of his stats who he played with, right? He originally started in '57 with the Ricky Nelson band, right? And he played with him till Ricky died in the plane crash, right? And then he worked with a lot of other artists, right? And but Elvis Presley asked him, to form a band. To play with him, but he was with Ricky. But when Ricky died, he called up Elvis. He went and worked with Elvis till Elvis died, and he run a band there and all of that. But I wrote down some of the guys that James played with. I didn't know he was this prolific. I didn't know the names, right? I mean, Ricky Nelson. He run that band. He 7 years, till he died. When was that? 66, 67? I don't know. No, it was later than that when the early 70s when he died in the plane crash. Anyhow, Ricky Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Bob Luman. Bob Luman, he was a country and western guy. He had some rockabilly hits too in the 50s, actually. Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, the Everly Brothers, Roy Orbison, Glenn Campbell, who's a fantastic guitar player. Can't read a note, but he's an incredible guitar player. John Denver, actually, he toured with John Denver for quite a while, Hoyt Axton, Graham Parson, Susie Quattro, to name a few, and what another thing I liked about James is he played a Telecaster. I love a Telecaster, and he liked the Telecaster. He played a Telecaster. Anyhow, let's get back to the Grand Funk. Patrick Play graded this, and this sounded fantastic, and this has got some great music on it. This one here, right? I don't give a shit about stuff like that. To me, it's patina. Patrick likes that word. Next up here, we got Harvest by Neil Young. Patrick Play graded this. That's on the old reprise, Patrick Play graded this, and it sounded fantastic. And Patrick was saying it's a U.S. pressing, MCA pressing, right? And he was saying that this is the best out of all of. I believe so. Maybe that's probably why I bought it. He was saying this is the best Harvest Neil Young record going. Is this MCA U.S. pressing? I guess it's a first pressing, But funny thing is, I got a Canadian of it, and it's a little bit different. The color. Here, I'll show you. I had it right here. I was playing it just the other day. Look at the difference in colors. The Canadian one's a hell of a lot darker. This Canadian one's a hell of a lot darker. It's exactly the same, though, in and out as this, right? Like this one here, the first press, it was printed in the United States. Now this Canadian one, it's, let's get this here right. It's in great shape, too. But the cover was printed in the United States, but the album itself is, made in Canada. It says made in Canada, not made in the States. So this is a Canadian copy, right? I'll have to check them out and see, the difference in the sound, right? And I also picked up just the other day when I was at a yard sale. I picked this up. It was $2. I mean, I love Spirit, and anytime I see this album for $2, Dr. Snodonagos, I'm going to pick it up. I'll tell you a story. I seen these guys in a little later in their career. It was 1972 when I seen these guys, and I was super, super surprised by how good a guitar player Randy California was. I mean, I had seen most of the greats up to that time, Hendrix and Clapton and Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck and Zappa was really, really damn good too, right? Seen him in '69. And but Randy California, he surprised the shit out of me. Randy California, his parents owned a bar with entertainment, and they had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fantastic artists, you know, go to that club and play. And where they would stay was at the parents' home because a lot of them are black guys. They couldn't get a spot to stay or they didn't have the money. But they stayed at Randy California's parents' house. And Randy, he started playing a guitar when he was 3, 4, 5 years old, something like that. And later on, he would sit in with these guys. They'd let him sit in and play with them. And that's how he learned to play guitar, right? Self-taught. And I think his parents paid somebody some money to give him one lesson, paid him a lot of money to give him one lesson. And I think the guy says, well, he doesn't, I can't teach him anything. That's when he was a kid. And actually, Hendrix had heard him when Randy was only 15 years old. Hendrix heard him and invited him to come out and play with his band. At the time, this was 66, I believe. Might have been 65 or 66 anyhow. And he invited Randy California to come down and play with his band. The band at the time wasn't, the Experience. It was Jimmy James and the Blue Flames. And so Randy played for him. And then Chaz Chandler of the Animals heard about Hendrix, went down to check him out, and, hustled him into going to Britain with him, going to England with him, and cutting a record, right? And getting some band members over there. Anyhow, Hendrix wanted to go, but he wanted Randy California to come with him to England to be his second guitar player on, Are You Experience? That's how good the kid was. If Jimmy thinks you're good, you're good. But his parents, the kid was only 15. His parents wouldn't let him go. A little later on, he formed, a band Spirit and made his own way and all of that. But that tells you how good he is. I mean, if Jimi Hendrix thinks you're good, oh boy. Anyhow, that's what I got, guys. It's going to rain on the weekend. Friday, going to start raining tonight, Thursday night, sometime, and then rain a lot Friday and a little bit Saturday and a little bit Sunday. So that's going to bring in the king salmon for a big run, right? Fantastic. Later, guys.